All right, so we have Zia tile, cement tile, okay? I'm the installer. It came out really good. All right, this is the shower pan. Okay, I did my envelope cuts from the corner too. All right, came out really good. So we got marble walls, a 3D back wall accent. So a lot of people have this problem of the grout staining the tile. Now, you're definitely supposed to use like white grout or a grout that doesn't contrast the tile. That's the proper, and then you're supposed to seal before grout. That's the proper installations. The customer had the heart set on platinum grout, which is extremely dark. I've done this tile before. I haven't had issues with the grout because I always seal it, you know, like 5 times before I actually grout. This time there was some minor staining. I'm gonna show you how to fix that. So if your whole floor is shot, like, I mean, the whole tile is just, you know, darkened, you know, you might have a different issue, but this is for, you know, minor staining. So I sealed 6 times beforehand with a high quality grout. They recommend 511 porous, you know, whatever it is, grout. Yeah, I used that. I also ran out of that because I did so many coats. I used something else, just a water-based, you know, sealer that doesn't change the color. I did, like I said, 6 coats, and there's some minor staining. I'm gonna show you how to get rid of that, okay? So as you see over here, there's some marks. I scrubbed the hell out of these marks, okay? And these are the areas that didn't come up. Okay, there's some there. There's a bad one there. Now, you're supposed to use a grout bag, but in the real world, when you have a 16th inch grout joint, it's very hard to grout bag that in. The grout doesn't want to come out the tip when the tip is that small in the bag. You got to mix it really watery. I tried, I had problems. So what I did was I just used my grout fluid and I just nicked the edges of the tile going in, and that saved from any staining in the center, but I just have these streaks around the perimeter in some areas. So this is painted tile. The paint coat is about 1/8 thick. Like, I actually had one tile once that I had a pencil mark, I couldn't get it up. I actually used my razor and I grooved out the pencil mark, and you couldn't even tell because, like I said, it's just the paint is 1/8 inch thick. So you could actually cut out little imperfections. But with the staining, you can use a 1000 grit sandpaper. This is like wet and dry sandpaper. I have 3000 grit wet dry paper. 3000 isn't too aggressive. It doesn't really cut fast enough to get the stain. You can use it, but I'm having a little better luck with the 1000 grit. Now what happens is, as you're sanding the area, you're going to start to pull the dyes out of your colors, and that could actually stain the white. So you really got to and then wipe it clean with a wet rag. So let me show you. So first I wet the area, right? The rag's actually drying out a little bit, but this is the 1000 grit. Don't push too hard. I need a little bit more water. As you see, it's starting to pull the color a little bit. Take it off. Just bear with me as I dip my rag in water. All right. Okay. So it actually started to look better just from that. Where was my, I don't even know where it was. Where was the area? I don't even know. I have a couple areas over here I can't really tell. All right, let's go back to, all right, I'm sorry. Let's see what we got here. All right, so we got some marks here, right? Wet the area, and then target just the white area. See, you're starting to smear the paint around. See, it's already looking a little cleaner. See all that smudge? You gotta be careful, that'll stain your tile. So now look, you're clean, right? All right. Now, this is under the cabinet. This is more of a trial to see what would happen. I already did a few spots and let it dry, and it looks good. So, I mean, you don't want to go crazy. Some right there, right? All right, that's pretty good. Again, this is under the cabinet, so I'm not gonna go crazy. See, that's all color that's being pulled. You gotta be careful. All right, you see? Maybe a little bit right there. I'm only doing this one tile because not only did I have to replace the tile, I don't want to hit the other tile first. So this is a sample. So that tile's pretty clean, okay? So I already let these dry. They dry and they look fine. But then what you do is you hit the whole floor again with the 511 sealer, all right? And you see how it looks. And like I said, I had this issue once before that the whole floor got dulled, just a little bit dulled from sanding it. So then what you do is, I recommend this stuff, okay? This is Stone Tech, you get a floor decor or whatever. Stone Tech Enhancer plus Sealer, and it's a water-based formula, okay? I try to stay with the water-based. The solvents are a little bit more, they leave like a more sticky, they're probably stronger, right? But they leave like a sticky residue on the tile sometimes, and they darken the grout. Solvents in general will darken your grout. And yeah, I just feel better with the water base, and you don't have any of the fumes. So that will give it like a slight wet look. So the reason why I like that, because it's not extreme. You use some enhancers or the semi-gloss sealer finishes. I mean, the floor just totally looks different, and it actually highlights the stained areas. Okay, we're not trying to highlight any of the damaged areas. So this stuff right here, enhancer plus sealer, it just slightly enhances the tile, gives it a slight wet look. So any areas that are slightly dulled come back to life. Yeah, so I actually used that sealer in the shower pan. Not for any issue. I did this, I cleaned a couple spots, and then I used that because it's actually the only sealer I have left. And it looks really good. It's hard to tell because now we have the shadow, right? But, you know, this is the regular tile. It looks really nice, okay? And the shower pan was a lot worse than this when I cleaned it. So, yeah. So I believe that's the trick. Now, like I said, when you sand a tile, you have to be very careful because you're doing something very extreme to the tile. So I recommend doing a sample, either under a vanity or get a scrap piece or an extra tile. You could literally smear some grout on it, wipe it off so you have the same effect, and then you can practice on that, right? You can practice on that. And if you have a lot more staining than this, you could actually get a buffer, you know, not a grinder because it's too high speed. Get a buffer that you could turn it down and put 1,000 grit or 1,200 or 3,000 or 1,500 sandpaper on it, and hit the floor. Just use water because you don't want your pads to warm up. You don't want them to burn because then you'll damage the tile. You could leave streaks, black marks, or you'll transfer the sandpaper color actually onto the tile. So keep it cool even when you're standing by hand. Once it warms up, hit it with water, cool it off, all right? I probably did a little bit too much talking, but that's the trick. Good luck, everyone.